Yeah. It's called McKinley's March.
Bluegrass music. It's called I Got a Letter from Old Harlan. I got a letter from my darling. Just give me some of it. I can't answer her letter, for she left me no address. You should know my little darling. You left my poor heart in distress. I got a letter from my darling. She said she hated to go. It broke my heart, the words she wrote me. She closed by saying I love you so. She said I never could be true. I've tried my little darling, to prove my love was just for you. I got a letter from my darling. She said she hated to go. It broke my heart, the words she wrote me. She closed by saying I love you so. Forever, though we'll have each other's
Hey, boss, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I've been looking at these videos from Denton, 1986. And, you know, back in those days, it certainly didn't have iPhones and stuff and to document things. You were one of the people who were behind the video camera there. Can you tell us a little bit about how y'all filmed this event? It was a big deal back then.
Well, you're right. There weren't very many. Video cameras were expensive, and at the time we went there the first year, Milton had seen us there. My brother-in-law, whose name, by the way, was Benny Martin, but he didn't play the fiddle. But he'd seen us there with an early VHS camera. And so he stopped when he was back in this part of the state at my house and asked me about us videotaping his Doyle Lawson festivals. And so anyway, we did, and I made an arrangement with him so that we could make two master copies. We took a second video recorder and hooked it up to it. But at that time, the camera was one piece that sat on your shoulder, and then the actual tape deck and everything was another piece that had a belt, and you strapped it around your waist and wore it as a second piece of gear. So, and they were really expensive when they first came out. Like a lot of things, they get more affordable as time goes along. So, I didn't own one, but my brother-in-law did, and so that's how we wound up being the folks videotaping the things. We set it up on top of a table, set the tripod on top of a table to get it up above the crowd so people wouldn't be walking in front of the camera. And then we patched we set up about halfway back where the soundboard was, and we brought the audio out of the soundboard for the house sound. And so all the microphones on stage, that fed into the house sound went through the mixer, and then we had an output from that mixer to go into our recorder. So we weren't picking the audio up from the little mic built into the camera. We were actually using the mics that were on the stage, and we would not have been able to do that had we not had an arrangement with the promoter to do it. So that, and what he was getting out of it was a copy of the videos for himself. And so anyway, that's how we came to be doing that back then. But there weren't very many people around that, at the events that had video cameras to do it.
I'm really impressed with the sound quality. It's pretty awesome.
Well, and I think that's because we got it straight off of the board, so we didn't have the conversations of people sitting around beside your camera talking in the audience, to distract from the show. And we took a small TV set so that we didn't have to stand on a chair and look in the viewfinder of the video camera that was on the tripod that was raised up high. And so
there's a really good crowd scenes there too, where you captured a lot of people I recognize and
Well, every now and then we would pan around, and just sort of try to show what was there. And it does, if you attended some of those things, it takes you back there again to where you feel like you're back there for sure again.
Yeah, I can still smell that Polish sausage from Denton. It was mighty good,
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yep, that was my first summer here, 1986, and it was pretty hot you coming from?
Oh, it was hot at Denton during the.
Pretty rough.
It was this time of year, wasn't it? Middle of July.
Oh yeah. And I was wearing a flannel shirt.
Oh yeah, you were dressed for north of the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, dressed for success. I know. That was crazy.
Well, people don't really realize how strong the bluegrass bug and the love of music can be. Through the years, I know how much I have benefited during my life from friends that I've made and that kind of thing. And, for someone like you to leave your native home and your family and all of your friends and move halfway around the world to follow music and come to North Carolina because it had the reputation of being a hotbed for the music without having firm plans about how all that was going to evolve. And then you've been wonderful at making friends and making a life here for a long time. And
I've been here now longer
it
than
just shows the strength of the pull of that. Once you get bitten by the bluegrass bug, it can be a pretty potent bite.
Yeah, I think the one that bit me was particularly toxic or something. It became sort of an obsession, actually. Still.
Well, I'm not sure that I was bitten. I didn't get as strong a dose of it as some of my other people because friends that I've met through the years, because I didn't give up everything in order to try to make a living and be on the road. In other words, I wasn't so consumed with it that I had to be on a stage somewhere, in order to live and to be happy. There were people that just, there wasn't any other way. They just had to do that. And, but I was able to back up and look at it and say, hey, this is important, but there are other things in my life that are important too. And let me see if I can establish some priorities. And, I enjoyed life and was blessed to get to go a lot of places, play a lot of places, be in bands with folks whose abilities far exceeded mine, and don't know how all of that really evolved, except the good Lord blessed me and let me do that, Yep. And but there are folks that, like you, that just gave up career. You were college trained, teaching at a university, and then came to America and had to start all over again and lived in a music store and
I don't regret it for a second.
Slept between two hardback chairs pushed together and
in deep snow.
Yeah, it was uphill both ways to the store, regardless which way you walked. It was uphill and you had to go barefooted.
Yeah.